All right. 30 degrees. It warmed up 3 degrees since I've been sitting in my car. And today we are up here in trout country. It would be nice to do a catch and cook salmon. I haven't done that yet. Yesterday, it seemed like yesterday was weird because I thought it was going to be a slammer day. I had some fish pretty much off the bat in the morning, and then they just shut down, and it was very odd. But I don't know pattern. When you start going into some of these big lakes, they have patterns that are pretty hard to sometimes figure out if you don't spend significant amount of time on them. So you can show up to any of these gigantic New York, Pennsylvania lakes, and odds are usually against you. It's like kind of like showing up into an ocean. So if you don't really spend time on it, you'll be scratching your head a lot of the time. So yesterday was a head scratcher. It wasn't bad, but still at the end of the day, I couldn't figure out what exactly happened because it was a good bite. Then it was like just like in saltwater, it's like the tide turned and everything died. But anyway, let me unload and let's go catch some fish. All right. Rest in peace, Lawrence Mark IV. So if you can't see what happened there, one of the pins snapped off a couple months ago, and that was the water temperature. This morning, as I went to plug it in, the power pin snapped off. So we're going to do this with no fish finder, man. I don't know. This is probably not going to work out, but we're going to give this a try. A little frosty out. So I have no fish finder. If I can pull this off, it's going to be a miracle like none other. That's all I know. That's going to be a miracle. We're going to find out, though. I don't know. All I know is if it happens, it happens. It's one of those things you can't push your luck on. I'm going to be guessing the whole way. So I'm going to either say I'm deep or I'm not that deep. That's all I know. I'm pretty deep. But I think I'm like 50, maybe 60 feet. We got a fish on the blind troll. Trolly, roly, polyoly. It's actually a good fish, too. Keitech. Keitech fish, actually. I'm going with salmon. In all honesty, I'm right. Damn, dude. All right. Damn, dude, these things are pretty crazy. I'm gonna lose them. Nice salmon, man. Told you I was gonna lose them. I gotta fix that net. It's more homework for me to do. Dude, chill out, man. Take a look at this fish, shall we? That's an Atlantic salmon, man. It's a pretty good one. 22, 23 inches. He was up shallow. Just kind of blind trolling this guy. Keitech 4-inch swim bait. Alright, so if you're curious about this sort of fishing and you're part of I'll call you my core audience. Okay, so it's kind of like, it's got some similarities to saltwater fishing. Salmon, rainbow trout, they remind me a little bit like of bluefish or false albacore. They cover a lot of ground. They might hold to certain areas if bait's coming in and out, but they ain't holding to any spots really, so they kind of move. It's like, you're playing the lottery, so, trolling is absolutely the easier way. That's why you see all these boats going back and forth. You can plug up a couple, like, had luck, jigging a few, but it's not odds are against you. It's a little more challenging. That's why I kind of gravitate towards the lake trout more, because you can jig them, and I find that to be a little more fun, even if they aren't on the top of that chain. But anyway, yeah, it's just cover grounds, cross your fingers. Some days it works out really well, some days it doesn't. You know, a couple other things are, of course, water temperature, where they are in the water column, bait, etc., etc. But it's a nice winter fishery, spring fishery, summer fishery. Cool settings, nice clean water, a lot of good opportunities on these fish. But we're gonna head back to the car right now. I guess I have to do a real catch and cook, which is like to, you know, not be lazy. All right, so here's what I did. I got back into Brooklyn, and I sent a couple messages out to see if anyone wanted to help me prep up this salmon. But my friend Mario responded to me, and Mario is a co-owner of a restaurant here in Brooklyn. So if you are in New York or watching this, it's a Sotto Voce in Park Slope, and it's a pretty legitimate Italian restaurant. So check that out if you are, you know, doing the restaurant scene pretty often. But he invited me over to his place. And check this out. We're going to do a real cold smoking with this Atlantic salmon, so this is cool.
That's a beautiful fish you got there, man. It really is, it's an honor to be able to smoke this. I mean, you don't really see those a lot.
Never really gotten into too many of these. They're usually, you know, I got to work for them a little more than my typical catches, so it's pretty cool too on my end. All right, let's get started. These fish get lamprey scars, so a lot of these lakes, lampreys are invasive from the Erie Canal, so they were like one of the reasons a lot of the salmonoids struggled over the years, and they'll latch onto any of these salmon. Lake trout get them, brown trout, all the trouts, and they'll suck on to them for a period of time. If like multiple lamprey attach to it, it'll kill the salmon.
Oh, really?
That's what happens. So like a salmonoid will survive, but if you start getting like 4 or 5 lamprey scars,
that's a lamprey scar right there.
Right.
That right there's a lamprey scar.
Yep. It's probably
they usually look like they're round and look like a quarter almost. And imagine that when, you know, you just walk down to a brook, this was in it. These things were swimming once upon a time.
Isn't that crazy?
It's a shame. It's a shame. I really would love to see these come back.
Right.
When it, you know, like they like to just pull the fillet right off, and I just hate that, because I always feel like they hit that bladder, the gallbladder.
Gallbladder, yep.
And that kind of ruins the meat for me, and so I like to just get in there and take everything out. Also, look, let's see what he ate.
There's 2 things I'm betting he might be eating: alewives, or they call these things gobies. They look kind of like sea robins. It's going to be one or the other, probably. Okay. The internet loves judging people's fillet work, so let's see.
Yeah, well, I'm not the fastest filleter.
Yeah, that's
I'm more about conserving as much meat as possible.
Watch your thumb.
That's why we're showing the whole salmon. It's such a beautiful fish. I want to see that in that smoker, you know?
Yeah, that's what's up.
Look at this, nice. Look at a beautiful orange color. Just gotta clean this up a little bit. Look at that beautiful orange color.
Let's look at some healthy meat right there, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're not gonna waste anything.
To get some scraps going, yeah. A lot of meat on this thing all said and done, actually.
Yeah, I think we pulled about an 80% yield on this.
Yeah, there's that spoon meat.
Like I said, if this was previously frozen at the right temperature, then I would just throw some spicy mayonnaise, you know, a little mayonnaise and sriracha, and go to town. But
we ain't doing that with this.
Do that. You had a close up of those bones. They look at them all.
Yep.
They're not yummy.
No, they're only the salmonoids got this stuff.
We're gonna pull them out. These are professional grade electrical pliers. We're gonna let's start from back here and we'll go forward, because usually they'll
about 1.5 dozen, I'd say, right?
So there you go.
Boom. These can break. I've broken many of these, so be careful. They are easy to break, these.
Yeah, you want to kind of pinch and then pinch around the meat so it doesn't pull up all the meat either. That's 2.
All right, so next step is we're gonna brine this salmon up, right? That's the next step?
Yeah, that's the next step, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Mario some questions about brining because I've read things over the years. So here we go. I'm sure you might have that question.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about brine. I'm actually, the only thing I do brine is fish. I don't brine meats at all. Turkeys and stuff like that, I don't brine that kind of stuff. That to me, dry rub is better. But for fish, something like this, you're gonna cold smoke it. You know, we're dealing with a lot of food safety issues. You're gonna want to take every step possible. Bring up the salt content in the fish that helps preserve it. The smoke is the second defense that's going to preserve it. Of course, refrigeration. You're going to be cooking this at 70 degrees, between 70 and 80 degrees, which is really right in the no safe zone. So everything has to be pristine. Everything has to be sterilized. Everything has to be clean. You don't want any type of bacteria to invade the fish. So that's an important thing. So brining is, to me, necessary in that little formula. Hot brining, hot smoking, you could throw it right in there. You're really just cooking the fish.
All right, so this is Mario's brine. I'll have all the ingredients to this in the description, but
So this right now. This is some just bass belly that was left over from the striped bass belly that was left over from the one of the trips that we have. I always take the racks because I don't waste anything. So this right now, I'm going to smoke this when we cold smoke the salmon. Mm-hmm. Now this brine is salt, sugar, soy sauce, pickling spices, and also I throw a little jerk seasoning in there.
Oh really?
A little spice, yeah, a little spice. We were talking about what we're going to do for the brine for the salmon. I'm almost thinking just to do a plain simple brine.
Yeah, for sure.
Or we do one and one. We do one fillet straight brine, so this way we can taste the fish.
Yeah.
You can taste the smoke in the fish. Then when you do the other one, we'll do this simple brine that I have here, with all the seasonings and stuff to just see what it brings to the table.
Yeah. 1 gallon of water. What's the egg do?
That's how we're going to level the brine. See this here? We're going to put like 4 cups of salt in there.
Basically, it was even to sugar to salt, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. A couple turns of black pepper. Now, like I said, this is the simple brine, which is going to be the base for our not so simple brine. I'm going to put 3 cloves. I like garlic.
I love garlic.
So I'm going to put 3 in there.
Never have too much garlic.
Yeah, so I'm going to put that in there. So that's all in there. And that's it, really. So 3 cloves of garlic, about 2 teaspoons of cracked peppercorns, 2 cups of sugar, 2 cups of salt, and 1 gallon of water.
That's your brine.
All right, here's the first brine. We're going to put it here. So you just want to make sure that you have enough brine to cover the fish. So, which that on a tray this big is definitely going to cover it enough. So black pepper, make sure that goes in there. So this is what you want. This way the skin is off the bottom. She's floating around. She's completely covered in this brine. So she's going to soak this up really well.
There you go.
And then we'll go put this away and let it stay for, I'm probably going to go 12 hours and then check it. After the 12th hour, I'll take like a little piece of the fish, taste it, make sure that it's not taking on too much brine. And then if that's good, then we're going to take it out. We're going to let it dry and develop the pets in. And that's what's going to grab the smoke flavor. So that's a jerk seasoning. You really don't want to put too much of that.
Right.
That's heavy duty. There's a lot of spice right there. So we're going to put that in there. All right. Then pickling spice, and that you want to jack up a little bit. That's about double. Throw that in there. Beautiful, huh? Throw that in there.
It's about 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons.
Yeah, I would say about 3 tablespoons is enough of that. And the jerk seasoning, probably 1 tablespoon. And yeah, I would even cut that back to like a tablespoon. Now, see, we're going to use low sodium because we already have a lot of salt in there. A lot of times if I have regular soy sauce, I'll cut back on the salt that I use.
Makes sense.
So, with this one here, you're going to, just enough for the flavor. So, I'd say that this is probably about 1/4 cup right there. So, put that in there. And I'm gonna put, let's jack it up to about a half. We have 2 quarts of water in there. That's a lot there. All right, so I'm gonna put that on there. That's our brine with all the goodness of herbs and spices, pickling spices, jerk seasoning, soy sauce, brown sugar, salt, black pepper, garlic. See, there you go.
There you go.
Again, you want that fillet floating, you know, this way that you're getting everything up and down. Got it.
All right, from here, these are going in the fridge 24 hours. Looking pretty special. So this is the spiced finish right here, right?
Yeah, that's the one with the jerk seasoning and the pickling spices. That's the plain brine with the sugar.
I don't know if you could tell on our end, but you could kind of see that glisten after 12 hours.
That little stickiness right there.
Yeah, you can see it. Yep.
Yeah, it's sticking to the finger.
This is the Wizard of Oz right here.
Yeah, this is a jerry rig thing. We got a Traeger smoker, pellet smoker here. I got my blend that I like to use for cold smoking. It's apple, hickory, cherry, and maple, sweet maple. So a lot of all the sweet woods. That little bit of hickory kind of keeps it, keeps it going. And we're perfect right now. We're right at 80 degrees. Actually, I'm going to turn this down a little bit because I want to be more like 75, 77. So she's holding really well. I'm going to just open this vent here, and that'll lower it down once we put the fish in there. So
now I understand everything. I kind of couldn't figure out where this was going.
So that's going to hang right in there. Boom. That string might be a little bit too long. It felt like the nose the fish was hitting. But look how beautiful that is.
Once a year treat, man.
Yeah, once in a lifetime with this fish.
We'll see it.
Well, it's gonna be more than that, I'm sure. Especially with you on the, especially you with the tackle.
Those salmon fillets are gonna dangle for at least a day, right?
Yeah, they're gonna go until tomorrow afternoon. I like to put them in there for quite a few hours. I'm gonna turn this a little bit this way so that she's getting that even smoke.
There you go, man. Here's the deal, right? We just finished smoking that up. Mario pulled out one of them after 12 hours. We're going to pull one out for the 24-hour smoking period. So let's first take a look at what the 12-hour one looks like. So check this out. Oh.
There you go. It's got just a little bit of smoke on it. Consistently at around 78 degrees for 12 hours. Look at that.
Yeah. That looks legit.
Yeah, that's really nice. So why don't we go outside and we'll go grab the other one. That's ready to take out.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You see the smoke even coming off that.
Yeah, that's a beauty. Look at that. Look at how the oil just came up on it.
All right, Mario, you can grab it. I'll give you the honors.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Reunited.
All right. I think we're ready for some bagels and cream cheese.
I think so. We got the collar here, so I'm going to cut that first piece off. Oh, look at how nice that is in there.
Oh man.
So let's, in the restaurant business, we use this for pasta. So let's get the real slices here. Let's see.
With lots of Photoshop. Now this is a $150 camera doing this, guys.
All right, so I'm going to try this first. Let's go.
Go for it. Go for it.
Fantastic. I mean, I made it, so I don't want to say it's fantastic.
Is that what you always hoped your own homemade smoked salmons would taste like?
It's not too salty. It's still got that richness of the fish in there. And there's just a slight bit of smoke on there.
That's the one that's been smoked for 12 hours.
Yeah, that's the one that's been smoked for 12 hours. Why don't you try a piece?
It's the first time having real cold smoked salmon. Here we go.
That was the chief. I mean, you're the expert. This is your country.
That is so good. It's got like it's like the smoked salmon you buy from a store, but it's got like this extra fresh taste to it that's like can't be duplicated anywhere. Yeah, that's really what it is. It's not salty, but it has that smoky bite you always loved, but it's got like this extra fresh extra taste to it, right? It hasn't been preserved or like sitting in a package that, yeah, there's just nothing can duplicate that.
This one,
pick up much extra besides the smoky flavor. It really did not like stand out as any like really whoa, you know, funky flavors there.
yeah, that's why I pulled this one out, because I felt that it's not going to have a lot of herbs and stuff to it, so it's not going to. I don't want the smoke to interfere with it. This one has the jerk seasoning in it. It has the pickle seasoning in it. So this one here could stand up to a little bit more smoke. So then you can see it's a little drier. It's a little darker. Look at that. See, look at the oil down in there. Look at that fat. See that?
Yeah, man. That's
good stuff. All right.
Go for it, man.
Oh, man. That might be my favorite.
Really? Your reaction says you love it already.
I love smoked food. And that one has a lot more taste to it. This one is milder and fresher, like, you know. But this one here is like wow, like there's so much going on. And it's a little saltier too because it's a little drier.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Your face said it all though. It's like you were like, that was good.
It was good. It was good. Hey, lunch.
Yeah, my turn. Here we go. It smells so good too.
Like, wow, right?
You got the glaze going on the actual flesh, so it's like you got the crisp.
Yeah, it's got a little crust to it, right?
I like that better too. This is really, they're both really good. They're different. It's like the sampler you get.
It's a sampler plate.
It's the Whitman sampler, but of salmon. Yeah, they're both like, this is definitely unlike anything I've had in my life. It really is. Just to have it done like this is.
Yeah, well, good. I'm glad that
this definitely worked out.
It worked out. I was really afraid, you know, not doing salmon before, and especially this, and you know, this unicorn fish that we really don't find around here too much anymore.
Imagine having this as a staple in your home.
I can't even imagine. I would have that in my. I'd be like slabs of that all over the place.
Just imagine there was a time in history that this was. Well, some places in the world still have it. Like, this was so readily available.
Incredible.
All right, we're gonna do something fun now too. Check this out.
That's good. What do you like? Plain sesame or coffee?
Oh man,
a little schmear.
Yeah, look at the fancy tongs.
Yeah, we do everything fancy, all like restaurant like.
This is the most New York homemade thing that's ever been.
Yeah, local fish too.
I got cream cheese everywhere, but once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
This is a once in a lifetime bagel.
That's it. Oh. Buon appetito.
Eat your heart out, local news channel.
That's good. That's it. Price just went up.
All right, guys. If you like the video, leave it a thumbs up. I'll leave some information about Mario's restaurant in the description. This was like out of every catch and cook I think we've done, this might be my favorite. This is just like the whole thing we did here was like so unique, so good. It's like there's no way to explain it except, you know, if you have the time and the ability to try it, I would 100%, even if you make a mistake, eventually you'll get it down. And there's a lot of fish you can do this with. We did salmon because it was just kind of like a special treat. At the end of the day, you know, Mario, like any game fish, really, bluefish, striped bass, you know, any of the salmonoid family, so trout, lake trout, you know, if you have access to the West Coast salmon, coho, Chinooks.
I even have...
He's got something in there.
I even have shads.
He's even got shads. I got shads.
We'll be eating those tomorrow. Look how beautiful that is.
Yeah, there you go.
We're going to get a lot.
So don't be discouraged that you need to do this with salmon. At the end of the day, right? This was my doing that I had this access to this. Like, I'm lucky catching this. And, you know, I wanted to give it a little extra, you know, jazz. All right, guys.
That's it.
That was legit. Hope you enjoyed.
You can keep talking. I'm going to keep eating.